34. Hydrogen dreams. Why the cleanest fuel never took over. The prediction, what we thought. As environmental anxiety grew in the late 1990s, a hopeful solution rose to prominence. Hydrogen would replace fossil fuels. Cars would emit water vapor. Power plants would run clean. Energy would be abundant, portable, and endlessly recyclable. The dirty age of oil would quietly end, not through sacrifice, but through superior chemistry. In this future, the fuel problem wasn't political or moral. It was technical. Solve storage, distribution, and efficiency, and the rest would follow. Standing in 1999, hydrogen felt like the elegant answer everyone had been waiting for. Why this prediction made sense in 1999? Hydrogen had irresistible properties. At the time, it was the most abundant element in the universe. Burning it produced no carbon emissions. Fuel cells were improving steadily. Oil dependency looked increasingly risky. Compared to fossil fuels, hydrogen seemed almost utopian. Clean at the point of use, compatible with vehicles. Flexible across sectors. This belief aligned perfectly with millennium-era optimism that the future would solve environmental problems without lifestyle change. We wouldn't need to drive less or consume differently, we'd just fuel everything better. For younger readers today, it's important to remember that renewables were still immature in 1999. Solar was expensive, batteries were weak, wind was niche. Hydrogen felt like the most realistic bridge from the old world to the clean one. Who said it, and where? The hydrogen vision was most famously articulated by Jeremy Rifkin, who argued in the late 1990s that hydrogen would form the backbone of a new energy economy. Rifkin framed hydrogen not just as fuel, but as infrastructure, a system where energy could be generated cleanly, stored efficiently, and shared widely. His arguments connected climate concerns, geopolitics, and technological progress into a single narrative. In that era, the idea resonated. Governments funded research. Automakers built prototypes. Hydrogen felt inevitable. What actually happened 2000 to 2025? Hydrogen advanced, but it never dominated. Over the next 2 decades, fuel cell technology improved. Hydrogen vehicles were demonstrated and sold in limited markets. Industrial uses of hydrogen expanded, but fundamental problems persisted. Hydrogen is not an energy source, it's an energy carrier. Producing it cleanly requires electricity. Storing it is difficult, transporting it is expensive. Infrastructure costs are enormous. Meanwhile, alternatives surged ahead. Solar and wind plummeted in cost. Batteries improved dramatically. Electrification proved simpler, cheaper, and faster to deploy. By the 2020s, hydrogen found specific niches: heavy industry, long-haul transport, energy storage, but it did not become the universal fuel once imagined. The hydrogen economy arrived selectively, not systemically. Verdict: status. Partially realized. Hydrogen plays a role in the modern energy system, but it did not replace fossil fuels broadly or become the dominant energy carrier. The prediction captured hydrogen's potential, but overstated its practicality at scale. Why it played out this way? The core mistake was assuming that clean at the endpoint equals clean in the system. Hydrogen looks perfect when burned, but producing, compressing, storing, and distributing it introduces inefficiencies at every step. Competing technologies skip those steps entirely. There was also an infrastructure problem. Energy systems reward path dependence. Electricity grids already existed. Battery charging fit into them easily. Hydrogen required building almost everything from scratch. The future didn't reject hydrogen. It demoted it. What this prediction teaches us about the future. This case illustrates a recurring forecasting error, confusing theoretical elegance with real-world efficiency. The best solution on paper doesn't always win. The best solution in context does. In 1999, hydrogen symbolized a clean break from the past. In 2026, it symbolizes a compromise, valuable but limited. The future delivered decarbonization. It just took a different route. One sentence takeaway. Hydrogen promised a clean energy revolution, but practicality chose electricity instead.